In 2009, I wrote a sonata for oboe and piano, which was to be dedicated to the memory of the murdered homosexuals during National Socialism. Carsten Schmidt looked at my music and he was particularly excited about the Oboe Sonata and said that he wished that it would be performed at Staunton Music Festival.
Carsten asked me if I would play it. He didn't ask me, he said, I have this amazing piece that I would like you to play, and I took a look at it and said, of course, I would love to play it. It's the kind of piece that doesn't get performed very often because it requires an unusual ensemble, and Staunton is uniquely prepared to do it. It's avant-garde in a certain way. It's deeply emotional and deeply personal, and as an orchestral musician, it's an incredible opportunity for me to get to perform something like this, because it calls upon me as a performer to do a variety of very difficult technical things and to use my heart and my voice as a performer and an individual. This piece requires an extraordinary range of dynamics and notes from really the lowest part of the oboe to the very highest part of the oboe. And rhythmically it was incredibly challenging just to get to figure it all out. What Stefan does is he'll take a rhythm that's kind of like this and then he'll displace it a little bit by an eighth note or a 16th note. So you end up needing to subdivide and count in a very consistent way throughout it.
Roger was emotionally so involved in the piece that he did an incredible good job. It was a fabulous interpretation, and I and all the audience, we were extremely impressed.
The experience of performing it is definitely one of just trying to stay centered, trying to involve myself emotionally up to the point that is safe to do as a woodwind player.
There are two so-called normal sonata movements, which are, however, charged with semantic meaning. So you could give the programmatic title Premonitions to the first movement. The second movement, fast, hard, hammered, could be titled Persecution. And the third, finally, could be named Lament.
This hard, hammered second movement, really intense, driven, relentless, really, and then we get to two half steps, one very high, one very low. So we start with those two half steps, which for me is the quintessential sort of yearning, chromatic, keening, the lament, the pull.
A male choir distributed in the audience would sing the names of the 314 homosexual victims of the Sachsenhausen concentration camp.
And then for the duration of that movement, what Stefan does that is so brilliant, he has the choir sing fairly easy to understand eighth notes and quarter notes, fairly tonal, often triads, very easy to understand harmonies, while the oboe and piano do a lot of chromatic twisting and interweaving, almost like ghosts, almost like voices, winds, spirits interweaving with this, again, relentless, but in a very different way, repeating of the names. Say their names. Say their names. sing their names. Once the audience and the room start to be aware that, oh, these are names being sung by the person sitting next to me in the audience or the person a few rows back, and I come back in with a kind of heartbreaking half step, much softer. Staunton is an incredible opportunity to just walk on stage and let it go. Let myself go fully into the character and the connection. It's really because of the family of performers and the family of the audience and the community. Can't wait to get back in Staunton and make music there again.